Hi everyone, welcome back to Cottoverdi. My name's Annette and I garden here in the English countryside in South Buckinghamshire in the UK. It's equivalent to a zone 8B. For anyone who's new to my channel, welcome, and if you've been here before, thank you for watching and welcome back. I am planting up my tulips today, as you probably gathered, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about the display that I create and how I create it, and I'm going to talk you through the varieties that I've chosen for this year's display, and then I'm going to show you what I use to combat the squirrel problem, to stop them digging up the tulips before they've had a chance to bloom. And I'm also going to talk a little bit about the patina that we've created on the tulip pots, because I think it looks really nice. And it's just a way to speed up the natural aging process of a terracotta pot, and I've got videos on my channel which I'll link in the description below that show you how we've done this in the past. So this is the patina that I'm talking about, and I think it looks really natural. I really like it, and a lot of our pots sort of look very similar to this, and it's because we've treated them with yogurt. And as I said, I've got videos about how we did that in the description below, but it's literally a matter of painting the terracotta with a watered down yogurt solution, and then we rubbed a bit of moss on them as well, and then just leaving them to age for a little bit, for a few months in a damp, dark corner. And what happens is you just get this sort of bloom on the outside of the terracotta pots, and I think it looks really nice, and it just makes them look, if you're looking for a rustic feel, it makes them look less new very quickly, and we really like that. Anyway, I'm going to start planting up the tulips and telling you about the varieties that I've chosen this year. So I'm just reusing a pot. It has a drainage hole at the bottom. I don't put any crocks in my pots, but what I do is I balance a bit of broken crock on top of the hole so that there's space for water to drain underneath and drain out through the hole, but the soil won't fall through. And then I just fill my pot with compost. So if you want to, you can reuse compost that you had here in the past. For tulips, that's fine. But we had a lot of annuals in here over the summer, and they had loads of roots. And so when we took the annuals out, there was just a big root ball in most of the pots. So we have taken all that compost out, and I'm putting fresh new compost in now. Something else that you can do if you want to is to add a bulb starter to the compost. So if you're, especially I suppose if you're reusing compost, you might want to add a bulb starter. Now sometimes I do this and sometimes I don't. It just depends whether I remember to buy it or not, but this year I've remembered to buy it and I'm going to use it. And this one that I'm using is recommended by the Royal Horticultural Society, the RHS, and I will read off the packet so that I don't get it wrong, but it's a perfect start apparently for bulbs because it has an increased nutrient uptake for the bulbs, improved flowering, prolonged flowering, and better germination. So that's one of the reasons why you might want to use a bulb starter, and this one has got mycorrhizal fungi in it as well. And all I'm going to do is just sprinkle some on the compost. So this is what it looks like. I'm just going to take a little handful and sprinkle it like this. And I'm just putting it literally, I'm not going to even mix it in, I'm just putting it where I'm going to be planting the tulips. Now in each of these pots, what I was going to do is measure the pots, because people often ask me what size these pots are. So the lip of my pot is 34 centimetres, internally it's 34 centimetres wide, which is about 13.5 inches, and my pots are about 32 centimetres tall, so 12.5 inches tall. And I put, as I said, up to 30 bulbs into each one. I try and cram them in. So if you're new to planting tulips, what you may not know, I need to get some scissors. So if you're new to planting tulips, what you may not know is that you can put them really closely together if you're putting them in pots and rather than in borders. So with tulips, when you're planting them, try to plant them about 3 bulbs deep, 3 or 4 bulbs deep. Now I'm just going to push them in like this and settle them into the compost. And again, if you're new to planting tulips, always plant pointy side up. And I do go to the trouble of making sure they're all facing the right way up. I know I've seen on YouTube lots of people aren't even bothering doing that these days, and that's fine, but I like to give mine the best chance possible. And so I'm planting mine the right way up rather than just chucking them all in. So the first bulbs that I've picked up are ballerina. So ballerina are one of my absolute favourites. They grow to about 75 centimetres tall, so they're really quite tall. I'm very tall for a tulip, in fact, and they are a gorgeous lily flowered tulip, which basically means that the petals sort of form points at the end of them, and they're this gorgeous orange colour and have a really nice sweet scent. So I really like these because I think they make a stunning display. So that is my 30 bulbs I've got planted in there, and then I'm literally just going to cover that with compost, and I'm going to cover up to this lip here, and then I know that these bulbs have been planted a good 3 or 4 times their depth. I always label my pots. So now that they're planted, I'm going to show you what I do to combat the squirrel problems, and it's a twofold process. Part of it I do for aesthetic reasons, so here we go. So the first thing I do is aesthetic, and what I use is moss. So I cover my compost in moss, and this, first of all, I think just makes it look really pretty, but it also is just like another layer that a squirrel would have to go through in order to get down to my tulips. Now this moss, I have bought sheet moss in the past, but this moss is moss that I've purchased online, and it comes as like a really compact block, and then all you have to do is rehydrate it, and it creates this lovely sort of fluffy, woodlandy look, and I really like that. So this is what I do to make it look pretty over the winter months, and I think that looks really nice. And then my next step is I use chicken wire. Now, this has been previously cut, so I just reuse my chicken wire each year because we just sort of cut it to a vague circle and I place it on top, but that is not sufficient to stop the critters getting to your tulips. What you also need is you need garden staples. Now I can link the garden staples and the moss below in case you want to see, but I'm just using garden staples, and you put 3 or 4 into each pot. Just enough so that it's going to deter your critters. Use a new one for this corner. So I'm putting 4 in, and then I'm going to push them down properly, like really push them down. And this stops the squirrels getting into my tulips. But it's really important when you see the shoots coming up in the spring to take the chicken wire off, because if you don't take the chicken wire off, you'll make the mistake that I did one year. I left it on, and then it was impossible once they sort of had grown to maybe 3 or 4 inches to get the chicken wire off without ripping the petals, or not the petals, the leaves, the foliage that comes up with the tulips. And what happened was I sort of had this flying saucer of the chicken wire, which sort of grew or raised up as the tulips grew. The chicken wire raised up too, and it was just sort of levitating and looked really ugly, but it was too late for me to then pull the chicken wire off the tulips without wrecking them. So I either wrecked the tulips, I can't remember, I think I just yanked it off in the end, but it just made the tulips look really tatty. So as you see the shoots come up and your tulips are safer in the spring, do remember to take the chicken wire off, or you'll end up like me with loads of flying saucers. Because we live here in the UK and it's going to rain all winter, in fact it's going to rain this afternoon, I am not going to water these in, there's absolutely no need. But what I will do is make sure there's good drainage underneath. So if we sit the pot straight onto the patio, what will happen is there will be less chance for water to escape, even though we've left a hole under the crocks at the bottom of the pot. It's just harder for the water to drain away. So to stop your tulip bulbs rotting and going all slimy and not producing good flowers, it's really important to make sure that they are raised up. So if you don't have feet on the pot that you're using, and you're using one like my terracotta pot, what I recommend are these things. This is not a sales spiel for these, but I did recommend them in my last video too. But that is because I found them recently, and I think they look really good because they are really well hidden underneath these pots. They don't look ugly, but they do allow for really good drainage. And I will link these in the description below just so you can see what I'm talking about, and you can either buy them or find some yourself. But I really recommend them. They're really hard plastic, and they've sort of got little feet on them, so they're raised up. But what they do is, if your pot is the right size, if your pot is larger than the ring, and these come in various sizes, so if you've got a ring that's slightly smaller than the pot, then you really can't see them. They're really well hidden. I'm going to show you what they look like. So my pot foot is underneath there, but you can't really see it. It's kind of hidden, and all you can see is the pot. And then it will just have loads of beautiful tulips on the top later in the year. But I think those pot feet are incredible. So this next variety that I'm planting is called Van Eyck, and this is a Darwin hybrid tulip which only grows to about 50 centimetres tall. I say only, but that's because I've got some taller ones, but 50 centimetres is a good size height for a tulip. But Van Eyck is one of my favourites because it's this huge silvery pink flower. It's absolutely gorgeous. This tulip that I'm planting here is my all-time favourite tulip. I don't know what it is about this tulip, but I have to have this tulip in my garden every single year, and I just buy more and more each year. This one is called Menton. So Menton is another one of the really tall tulips, so it's going to grow to at least 65 centimetres. I have had some that grow taller than that. It's another triumph. It's a single late. So all of the other tulips I'm planting today are going to bloom between April and May, and this one is going to be more towards May. So it'll be slightly later than the rest, but I really don't mind because I love it so much. It's this gorgeous corally pink goblet shaped flower, and it really is outstandingly beautiful. The next one I'm planting is the lily flowered Merlot. So it's another one with the pointy petals, and Merlot, I mean, it describes it beautifully, exactly the colour that it is. It's like maroony purple, mauve. It's just an absolutely gorgeous colour. I think it's going to set off the more warmer tones, the oranges and the pinks, so beautifully. Now, if I haven't mentioned already, I'm doing 2 pots of each variety so that I can have one on either side of the steps. I'm not going to make the arrangement match exactly, but I do want the colours to be equal on either side of the steps. I like that look. It pleases me to have a little bit of symmetry in my life, and I plant 30 of each of these tulips into each pot. That's just an approximate, but it is like the arrangement I do is sort of a clock face, and it ends up being about 30 in each pot. And I try to make sure that I keep them even, just so again I've got a little bit of symmetry going on. So I think I do 16 on the outside ring, and then I just fill in the middle with the rest. So I do, I think, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I do about 8, I do about 10 on the next ring in, and then I do 4 in the middle. And that's just what fits in my pot, and it fits really snugly and just creates a really good display. Merlot is another tall one, and it's going to grow to about 70 centimetres. So I've got some really tall ones and some that aren't quite as tall, and I just really like the height variation as well more than anything else. This one I'm planting is called Holland Beauty. Oh, Holland Beauty is gorgeous. It's this lovely deep lilac fading to creamy white at the tips. It's got a touch of yellow sometimes too. It only grows to 40 centimetres tall, but it's gorgeous. It's another Triumph and it's a single early. So it will come at the same time as everything else except maybe the Menton. I have high hopes that the Menton this year are going to bloom early, because I'm going to will them to bloom a little bit earlier. The last tulip I'm planting today is called Apricot Beauty. It's another one of my favourites. It only gets to about 45 centimetres tall, but it comes in these shades of apricot with touches of pink, and it's just this lovely Triumph shape. It's another single early, so we are going to get earlier blooms with this one. I hope you've had fun with me as I planted up my tulip pots today. I've got loads more bulbs to plant, so do subscribe to my channel if you want to see those videos. I'll go through them all with you as I plant them. I think we've got a storm coming this weekend, another one, I can't believe it. I think it's going to be at least 55-mile-an-hour winds and torrential rain, so I'm not looking forward to that, but I will get the bulbs planted over the next week or two, definitely before Christmas. Anyway, thank you for watching, and I'll see you all next time.